There actually is a few housekeeping details.
Is there?
That we need to go through.
Sorry, I'm mixing up your setup.
It's okay. Do you got it? We're good?
I think so.
All right.
Hi.
So before we even start, the other day I get a phone call from my mother.
Oh.
And she's like, is Jesse okay?
Why?
And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like,
yeah, in what context, right? Marta?
Mentally, physically,
emotionally,
both, you know? Anyways, sorry, your dog did it again on my lap. I thought it was your, because it feels like it's just you taking two fingers and being like, do. And sometimes we have sign language and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I promise my sign language will never be groping your upper thigh.
Okay. Too bad.
I can't say the same for my dog.
So anyways, it's like, well, like, I saw him post a picture on Facebook and his knees look really bruised.
God.
And she's like, what is that from? And I was like, I think it might be tobogganing. Yes. However, I'm sure he would tell you a different story.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have just confirmed. I was at an orgy and
right.
No, but you know, it was from tobogganing, except in that picture, when I posted it, I didn't even notice how bad it looked. It's because I obviously had like 8 filters on it. So one of them really enhanced the contrast. I'll show you my knee after.
Not only that, but you're also wearing ripped knee jeans in minus 25 weather.
That was a nice day.
It always makes your skin look purple.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But it really does look like a bad bruise, but there is no bruise on my knee. I'll show you. So I don't know what that was from. I can only assume it was tobogganing.
As soon as I saw it, I went straight to the comment section.
Yeah, what's with this? My sisters tagging Jenna, like, Jenna, you got to deal with this. Like, we can't, but that's all anybody was commenting.
It looked like a bit of a dirty bird.
Picture?
Yeah.
Good. Maybe I'll get a date.
Do you remember that time when we were working Blues Fest one year and you posted a picture of these pants you had that had knee pads built into them?
Yes.
And you put like a caption, something about like being on your knees or something, and you got in so much trouble.
I got in trouble. Yeah, our old radio station. And it was my personal Instagram. And they got mad at me. But yeah, I guess knees and sucking dick is a hot topic.
But I had to call you out on that. But my mom was like, oh my gosh, is he okay?
Well, thanks for your concern. I got a call from my mom after that picture too. And all she had to say was, what's with all these perverts leaving comments on your photos all the time? All these old men, do they think they have a chance? I was like, I love you, Mom.
Little does she know that you are the pervert.
Yeah. Well, what I write back is, how much money do you have?
Right.
You know, money talks.
Yeah. I got a story about, no, I'm not going to say perverts because it is just a fetish, but.
Well, now what were you going to say?
I don't know. Did we have anything else for housekeeping before we dive in though?
Yes.
No?
You're really okay.
Oh,
I do have a list, but I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this.
Okay. No. Stuff. I'm not going with pervert. Well, every story we have is a little perverted. I mean, we're perverted.
Yes.
But guess what? So I went swimming today for the first time.
I know you did.
I did because it's funny because swimming is really hard to get a booking. They're filled up right away.
Oh, you have to book like at the gym.
Yes. So because you only allowed like 8 people in the pool at once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just went through all of the rec centers looking for a place and got one at 8 o'clock. And I'd never been there, but I put in my little GPS and it took me to your backyard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a pool back there.
Don't say which one you were at.
Right.
Speaking of the creeps.
Exactly.
But yeah, the reason I know you were there this morning is because I woke up to a text from Jenna being like, I'm swimming at like 7:30 in the morning. Well, good for you. You know.
So I loved it. No, I loved it. It was great. I love swimming and it was really nice to be back in the pool. The lungs were, they were screaming, but I still managed to be only like a 3 or 4 minutes slower than I was when I was swimming a lot.
Okay.
In total.
So because they've been closed since the gym. So it's been since Christmas.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm leaving. I'm in this great mood because swimming, you like exert so much energy that your face is like burning for hours after. I go to get my car and I pull out and then I notice that there's just like a ticket on my car and I'm like, I parked at a rec center. There's no pay. I look around, no pay parking, and I'm like, okay. And then I read it and it's one of these stupid things that was like, this isn't a parking ticket, but it looks like one because you're an idiot that doesn't know how to park. You park like 10 elephants, 2 cats, and a dog and a chimpanzee or some shit like that.
You know, you're right. It had African animals and it says, I hope the fleas of 1,000 monkeys infest your armpit.
Right. I didn't read the whole thing because honestly, I was confused because one, the parking lot was fairly empty. So even if I was taking up 2, it's like there was lots of available. And I will admit, I'm not a very good parker. So I always check myself. And yes, I was on the line. However, I was not over it.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, what a grumpy fucking person. Like they must be having a horrible morning. So I just thought that was really weird. And I just can't believe that there's these fools out there that walk around with these things in their pockets.
Well, like you said, you were in my backyard and that'll teach you to wake me up with a text saying you're exercising. Okay. What? You're welcome.
Did you hear that? So you're the idiot that walks around with those in your pocket.
I have it in my pocket. I've had those fake parking tickets since I was like 9. And when I got your text, I was taking the dogs out. So I just brought one with me.
Also, I was like, this person's a dumbass because it says like province or like location and you fill it in by hand.
Yeah.
So in the make of the car, it says Kona. And I was like, no, it's a Hyundai, asshole.
And that didn't give you a clue that it was me. I can't believe all day she didn't text me.
No idea
That I had done that. I thought instantly you'd know. And I even tried to disguise my handwriting to look like a straight guy, like a little bit scribbly.
Well, it was shitty handwriting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be, when have I ever seen you handwrite
Well,
things?
just if it was nice bubble, like with heart dotted eyes, maybe not. Apparently not. I'm glad I can still get pranks over on you.
Yeah, you didn't ruin my day, but
I didn't want to ruin your day. I had to see you.
I was a little confused as to like why this person was so upset with me and my parking job.
Leave it to you to take it serious. Oh, who's mad at me?
Right.
Oh God.
Also, before we move forward, and I know this isn't in real time, but we can't not acknowledge this very special day. It's a very special day. It is, hold on, I have to bring it up here.
Oh, I know what day.
National Drink Wine Day. I always want to say like National Red Wine Day, but no.
National Red Wine Day is a dark day for us.
Right, exactly.
Not today though.
Oh, that's when we got canned.
Yeah, Red Wine Day. But National Drink Wine Day, we can get on board with.
So I know this isn't in real time, but whatever. I thought that it would be interesting to pull up this survey that kind of lets you know how many glasses in one sitting that people are having on average.
Ooh.
I thought maybe you and I could kind of see where we are on the scale.
Well, you know, these days wine glasses are made oversized, undersized, tall, thin. So what is a glass really?
Well, that was my thing. Are we talking a 5-ounce glass, an 8-ounce glass?
I've never had either
If
of
I
those.
drink straight from the box with a straw, that's technically one glass.
Right. So what does it say? What many ounces?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But I'm assuming it's like restaurant standard. So probably 5 ounces.
That's nothing.
I know.
Like, can we at least go with 9? 5
Right.
ounces is like 2 sips.
That's the jumbo size.
Yeah.
Okay. So 74% of people surveyed only have 1 or 2 glasses. 9% say they drink at least 5,
There we go.
or they just finish the entire bottle.
Okay.
After you drink 5 glasses of wine, you lost count.
You're opening another bottle. That's what you do. There's not even 5 glasses in a small bottle.
I think
There's like 3.
it's not a small bottle, Jess.
Okay, a 750 ml.
It's a regular size bottle of wine.
Not for us.
I do think that what is 175?
175 what?
Oh, that's math.
750 milliliters. What are you trying to
Oh,
figure
but
out?
I can only do ounces in my head. Anyways, but I do think if my old bar hag days, that one bottle is equivalent to 4 glasses of wine.
Okay, so there you go. So just finish the bottle if you're
Right.
in the 5 glass can.
This survey also into, and you can tell it's American by their taste in wines, FYI. But what types of wines they like to drink.
Okay.
18% said they are Merlot drinkers.
Oh, I thought it was going to be white.
But Merlot's a fairly heavy wine.
Yeah, well, so we're Americans. Hey-oh.
16% say Zinfandel.
Oh, Sugar City. Again, American. Sweet.
Coming in third was, quote, I don't know my wine types.
That used to be me
Yeah,
before I met you.
right. But that's the thing is like, you know, the guy he calls me a wine snob. I'm like, I'm not. I buy cheap wines. I just learned how to select the cheap wines better.
Yeah, I will say you're a bit of a wine judgy, but you still drink it. Like you're not a wine snob. Whereas to me, a wine snob is like someone who's like, I won't even have a glass of that.
Right.
You'll just make fun of my box, but you'll still drink it.
Any wine connoisseur knows a good $8 bottle, just like they know a good $800 bottle.
Yeah, that you're saying you can get a good $8.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Well, it's funny, sidebar, and I have a story about this virtual conference I'm helping out with after. What happened? There's an emergency.
He was on my foot.
Oh,
is he okay?
Come here, Lopez.
Oh my God, are you okay, Lopez?
You'll learn about Lopez.
I'm sorry.
He's a drama
No,
queen.
I moved my feet and he was there. Oh, not both.
Yeah, but you didn't step on him. You just moved
Kind
your
of-ish.
foot.
I
Oh, well.
know.
He's very dramatic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Can I tell you something about Lopez? Even sometimes if I go to reach for something on a top cupboard too quickly, he thinks I'm going to hit him and he like whimpers. I'm like, Lopez, I'm not going to hit you. I don't know what happens at his dad's house. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I digress. I'm helping out with this wine conference thing, or that's a doctor conference, not important, but part of it is a wine tasting. So the one I was helping out with last night, there's this sommelier and she's giving this wine talk and she's like, so you see, you don't have to be afraid of spending no money on a bottle of wine. You can get a great bottle of wine for $25 or $30. I was like, what?
Well, we had that sommelier, Aaron, a long time ago on our podcast. Also, if you are just getting into wine, I highly suggest going and listening to that podcast. Yeah. We learned a lot about wine. But I've been with her and she, like many times we've drank wine together. And there's no shame in having a really good $8, $9, $10 bottle of wine. No shame at all.
Especially if it's low sugar.
Yeah, I've had really shitty expensive wines too.
Yes,
it's about your palate as well.
Shiraz, but...
So the survey also found that 9% of people say wine gives them the worst hangovers that out of any type of alcohol. 9% always buy boxed wine.
It's the best value.
And 3%, this would make me laugh out loud. 3% always cry when they drink wine.
Oh, like you get emotional.
I've had a few nights like
that. I bet. You know what I get emotional from wine is the next day, the wine hangover. I could watch like a Kleenex commercial and I start tearing up.
Yeah, I think that's just like the combination of being like tired and dehydrated.
yeah. Do you think wine is your worst hangover? I think mine's beer.
My hangover is independent, actually rum.
Oh.
I haven't drank rum since college.
Right.
There was a reason. So all of us girls were drinking rum and Cokes all the time in university. Because when you start going to, like, that's all you really learned. How to order.
So funny. My brother's 21 and that's his go-to drink right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and they're sweet and taste good and rum makes you silly. So we were drinking that. And in the morning, all of us girls would just be like deathly ill, not feeling good. And like, we would say that we would also, it gives you the runs. Rum gives you, and we would we would call it rum bum.
Oh, they're gonna say rum runs.
No, we'd have rum bum.
Rum bum.
Yeah, and then like,
rum bum bum bum.
And then we saw the sugar content of a rum and Coke, and we were like, "Oh, thank God we play soccer."
So the sugar content of Coke.
Yeah, so immediately we switched over to vodka with Crystal Clear or Crystal Light or whatever that drink is. Oh, can never drink that again.
Is that like the powder and
water? Yeah, because it was 0 calories. Oh,
yeah, but it's important because when you get a bit older, you realize that your body processes spirits as sugar too.
Right.
So it's like double the sugar.
Right.
Ugh. Marla Hooch.
Hey,
we haven't heard about her in a while.
I know.
So as I was mentioning, this spine I don't even want to get into this whole explanation of what it is, but part of my day job, because stand-up comedy has been murdered, is to, by the way, I'm at Yuck Yucks again this Sunday.
Say the date.
February 27th. Thank you to everyone who came last weekend. It was great. So I'm helping out with this virtual spine conference. Basically, all these doctors get together and, compliment each other.
Okay.
Anyway, one of the other guys that's helping out with the conference used to work in film, and he worked on a Sylvester Stallone movie in Toronto called Driven. I've never seen it. Have you?
I didn't know Sylvester Stallone was still in movies.
But this was a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
This was like early 2000s.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big Stallone fan.
I don't think you will be after this either. Actually, maybe you will be. But the reason we got onto this story is because before the conference started, some of the doctors were chatting and they had their mics on. So they were like making fun of other doctors. And as the showrunners, we're behind the scenes with our cameras off, listening to all this gossip, thinking, they got to learn to turn their mics off. And, you know, being from radio and him from film, we were like, we know better than to do that. So anyway, he starts telling me this story about when he worked with Sylvester Stallone. And one time they took a break from filming this movie Driven, and Stallone went back to his trailer and forgot to turn his mic off. And all they could hear was him going, cup him, cup him, cup him. Because he had a girl in there. He brought a girl back to his trailer.
And he was telling her to cup his balls?
Yes!
Is that all he wanted? Was her to just like cup them and like hold them?
I don't know. I assume she was
cradle them, sing them a lullaby.
Nobody knows. I assume she was giving him head. Cup him. Can you hear?
Yeah. We're not good at doing the impression, but I guarantee people are like, "Oh, that's Stallone."
Cup him. And I don't think in the few blowjobs I've had in my day, I've ever said cup him. Has anyone said that to you? Cup them, maybe jingle them a little bit. I don't know.
Or play with my balls.
Yeah, cup them. Just gently cup them. So then lunch break ended and he came back to set like nothing happened. And because he was the big star, everybody pretended that they didn't realize.
But that's all they heard on it. First of all, you'd think Sylvester Stallone would have some PA assistant as soon as the scene is over would run up and take his mic off.
Or his assistant.
Right. Or somebody take the mic away from him.
Good point.
But all they heard was him just saying cup him.
Well, the sound tech that had the headphones on that was hearing it heard whatever. And then he called this guy, David, over and was like, listen, you got to hear this. So I don't know how much they heard or how long they listened in. It was a couple of straight guys, so I doubt they were that interested.
They should. I was like, they should have TikToked that, but they don't have TikTok.
They barely had internet then. Anyway, so I thought that was an interesting real life story. Little sleaze, remember sleaze?
Right. Oh wait. Whenever
Stallone.
There's a microphone around you,
be careful.
Don't say anything you don't want people to hear.
Yeah, kind of like you on our Insta stories. I love sucking dick. I thought you were going to tell me to take it down.
I did not say that. No, I didn't share it on mine. No.
I know. I sure did. I love that clip.
I didn't say that. All I said was, okay, there's not a bad time to, I guess.
Oh, careful. You almost did it again. That was going to be a second week clip.
Oh, God. Okay. Where are you at? Your 3 headlines are
all about dating.
About dating. So do you just want to go with yours 3?
Well, what do you think? Sure.
Because mine is, there's a new trend in mask wearing that involves smells.
Ew.
And I also have a little bit of a history lesson. A little bit
boring.
No, it's about butt plugs.
Oh.
The history of butt plugs and what they were originally developed for.
Well, now that's interesting. I think we should keep that one for the very end. Or do you want to start with it?
Let's start with let's start with a bang.
Well, which one's a bang?
I think
the butt plugs?
Yeah, let's start with the butt plugs.
Can anybody tell that we didn't plan this episode ahead of time?
We never planned the order.
No, we used to.
Maybe
we've gotten a little too confident.
Right, exactly. I love history though. And back when I was in high school, and I think it was grade 8, I had a social study teacher and I can't remember her name. And I'm so sorry because she was awesome. But at the very final Friday of every month, nobody was allowed to bring books to class. No pens, no books, nothing.
Awesome.
You just had to sit there and she would tell you like the other side of like medieval times or the other side of everything.
That's
interesting. So, one class we sat there and she talked about hygiene in the Middle Ages and what it was, how gross it was and like all of that. But it was just so cool. And I love fun history like that. So that's why this butt plug, the history of the butt plug really stood out to me.
Before you start, see what you just said about your teacher is so interesting that, that is something kids would find fascinating. Hygiene in the Middle Ages. Why isn't that part of the curriculum? Because you still have to take care of your body now.
Now that I think back, I think it was part of the curriculum. She just put a fancy bow on it and it's like, Friday, no books. Let's talk the gross stuff.
Smart teacher.
Right?
Smart teacher.
Very smart. Very smart. Sometimes it's smart to tell your kids to just put down the books and listen.
Yeah.
Right. Because I don't remember a lot from high school, but I remember that.
Parenting advice from the Messy Podcast.
Right. Okay. So how a lot of people right now are into like home remedies, natural remedies, and procedures to like help
do anything.
Help common ailments. Whoa, common. That was a hard word to find. To cure common ailments. Oh my God. Okay. So back in 1890, Dr. Young's rectal dilators hit the market. Yeah, they were being sold and prescribed. According to Dr. Young himself, the rectal dilation tool could cure insanity
Ah!
with 3/4 of howling maniacs reporting that the device cured them after a few weeks of usage.
Oh, it's just because you shove anything in your ass hard enough, it'll shut you up.
Right? Dr. Young made clear that many of his patients would panic at the size of the hard rubber instruments.
Oh.
So there was a set of 4 that kind of looked like different torpedoes.
Yeah.
And they were about anywhere, the smallest one was about 1 inch, the biggest one went up to 4 inches.
Oh my.
Yeah. So here was the instructions on the anal boo-boos.
So when you say torpedo, I'm picturing like the modern day butt plug shape.
Yeah, but it wasn't as curved as much as it was like
Sharp?
no,
Like-
it wouldn't be a pointy, like it wouldn't have been painful.
Well.
I mean, like painful, but do you know what I mean?
No, I don't.
They don't look much different.
Okay.
And if you follow us on YouTube or whatever, we'll flash up a picture of them.
Okay.
They didn't look much different than what you'd find in a store today.
And what were they made of?
I don't know. That they
Oh.
didn't say what they were made of.
Okay.
Dr. Young, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. Here's the instructions that were on the box
Yes.
or whatever.
Okay.
Warm them in warm water. Lubricate the outside of the device using Dr. Young's very own branded lube, by the way.
Okay. Brand. I'm glad you said branded, not his own lube.
Right? I did write Dr. Young's very own lube and then quickly realized what that would sound like.
Yeah.
And gently insert in the rectum as far as the phalange or rim.
What's a phalange?
Your finger.
Oh,
Or flange. Flange a thing?
I don't know.
Anyways, don't put it too far up is what that was saying.
Oh yeah, phalange is a finger.
But it wasn't just for the like insanity for maniacs that apparently it was supposed to cure. Dr. Young said that it corrected a ton of things like constipation,
Oh.
promoted refreshing sleep, relieved bad breath,
Okay, calm down.
acne,
Hmm.
anemia, insomnia, anorexia, headaches, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, indigestion, nervousness, irritability, cold extremities, and more.
Okay, do we know any of those that are true?
Well, the only reason, so these were on the market from, what did I say, 1890? 1890 until 1940.
Wow.
So they were there for a long time. The reason that they were pulled off shelves as medical devices or whatever is because some like politician was like, no, they're dangerous, AKA he used it and went too far up.
Or too hard or too
Yeah.
fast. I'll tell you something, sidebar story. I don't know this guy, but I have a friend, it's happened to a friend of mine, is in the hospital right now because he had anal sex too rough and it gave a little tear up there.
Yeah,
And
which is
but-
so dangerous.
And listen to this, he didn't even notice that it teared. So all of a sudden it got infected.
Yeah.
And he almost like lost his whole rectum.
Oh yeah, like you open up to like that septic shock and shit.
And do you remember Sex with Sue Sunday nights would say, be so careful. She would always go on and on about like
another reason to wear a condom.
well, yes, but she would always be like, anal's not worth it almost. Yes, it is. But you just have to be very careful.
Right.
And you can't be too careful. So that story really freaked me out. What?
For a second, I thought we were recording.
No, we are.
Trip balls.
That parking ticket did throw you off today.
Okay.
Second story about that. Dr. Young was his name.
Yeah.
My grandfather, who's now passed away, God rest his soul, he had bad asthma in his life, and he had an asthma doctor. And one day he was seeing him, and he was Asian, and he had a thick accent. You know, old white guys don't do well with that.
Right.
So this doctor was like, I think you need to see a lung specialist. So he kept saying, you need to see a lung doctor. You need to see a lung doctor. But it sounded like you need to see a young doctor. So my grandpa kept being like, no, I don't. I'm fine with you. I don't have an issue. I don't need anyone younger. I'm not ageist. I'm just fucking racist because I can't understand what you're saying, Dr. Young. But he was saying, yeah, lung doctor. Anyway, love
That's
that story.
too funny.
Cute, right?
But I just thought that was really interesting that that's how they
Started.
was.
I'm curious from that list you read, are any of those ailments cured? Cold extremities, I could see, because it gets your blood pumping.
Constipation, obviously.
I mean, the one
Headache, I'm sure. I mean, if you
gets your blood pumping.
and if you orgasm, apparently that's a really big cure to
Sure.
a headache, which is funny because a lot of women will be like, honey, no, I have a headache.
Yeah.
When in reality, I hear
It
boning
helps.
helps.
Anorexia, don't really understand that one. There was a few that you said, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Sounded like this young doctor just wanted to.
Well, he did it for a long time, 1890 to 1940. I'm not a mathematician, but that's a long time.
And so people bought into it.
Or maybe he had a lot of satisfied customers. And the politician that said no and got rid of them was definitely either he used it and it hurt him, or I don't know, something else, but he had a personal connection.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
By the way, is Vancouver still in lockdown? Do you
They
know?
never were.
Oh, they never were. Well, Toronto is. And because Ottawa's open now, I'm seeing all these salty statuses today being like, it's not fair. Doug Ford sucks. And he's just eating breakfast sandwiches and all this stuff because they're mad that Ottawa we're opening up again with comedy shows and the gym and Toronto's not.
Right. But please still be responsible.
Yeah.
Still wash your hands. Still use hand sanitizer. Still wear your mask. Still social distance when possible. Like,
yeah.
You know, I said this a long time ago. I was on 2 flights with COVID within meters of me.
Yeah.
And the reason that I didn't get it is because they were wearing a mask and I was wearing a mask and I was conscious of everything. Everyone else around me was conscious of keeping things tidy and germ free. So it does work. You know, you see a lot of people on both sides of the spectrum right now being like, yeah, let's open up everything and go crazy. And then others being like, no, we shouldn't even go outside of our house.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is something we're going to have to live with for probably another couple of years. So we need to find a way of doing it as responsibly as possible.
You ever thought about running for office, Jenna?
I feel like a quick background check
would put an end to that. Well, it's a good reminder because you're right. I think people are COVID fatigued. And so this idea that lockdowns are ending, give a feeling of a free for all. And it can't be that way.
I think we need to start being a little bit more empathetic with people and understanding too. Stop shaming people for doing stuff. You know, like stop shaming people for going to want to get their fucking haircut.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm getting my haircut done.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, like, I'm sorry, people need to do these little things to make themselves feel like alive again for a brief moment.
And just because you say you hate lockdown doesn't mean you're against it. It's just, we hate it.
Right.
That's all.
It all sucks.
Okay. What else? Just a little quick thing. Does this turn you off? Gravy is just dead animal sauce.
Not at all, because I would drink gravy out of a cup if it was socially acceptable.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to ask you that. And to me, I'm like, well, meat is just dead animals. So how is saying it's dead animal sauce any grosser? Right.
And for the vegetarians out there, like, have you ever had cranberry sauce? That's just mushed up cranberries.
Yeah, that's dead fruit.
Yeah. Sometimes like I said, a lot of facts like that won't really turn me off, because growing up with a immigrant German grandfather and then a first generation born Japanese grandmother, you ate a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
So nothing really creeps me out, or like will turn me off. The only things that do is like veal, for example. I won't eat veal.
Why?
Because the way those baby cows are killed is just too much for me. And I don't want to be a part of it.
But she'll eat McDonald's chicken nuggets, no problem. Okay.
I haven't had those. I went and got McDonald's for the first time actually since a year probably.
What'd you order?
I went got breakfast.
Oh, that's the best thing from there.
Egg McMuffin.
And I find it keeps you full all day.
Right. Yeah. Because there's about 580 calories, except for if you got the hash brown, and like, who goes to McDonald's and doesn't get the hash brown?
That's the whole excuse to go.
Fucking psychos.
Yeah. So did you have another story?
I do.
Oh, well, so what do you want to do? What's your last one? I forget.
Well, I don't know. We'll do mine.
Yeah, finish yours and then we'll get into Valentine's Day.
Because we were just talking about COVID, and we're talking about how COVID is now a part of life.
Hopefully not.
So masks are now a part of life. I'm about to buy my second round of masks again. Because if you think about it, if you bought cloth ones at the very beginning of the pandemic, they're now a year old.
And they're not up to code anymore with the dual layers and the filters and the
no. So it figures that I don't know why we did not think of this a long time ago.
Oh.
Because we have talked about people selling used panties for a while now. Why didn't we think of selling masks with used vagina on it?
What?
Yeah.
Didn't Gwyneth Paltrow just do this?
No, she made a candle that replicated the smell of her vagina. This is actually I have worn a mask in my panties all day, and then I sell them, and those person wears those all day on their mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. So just like people that sniff panties.
Like Orange is the New Black, but with masks.
Right. So apparently there's this whole part of the internet, and I don't know if you've heard of this, that sells fetish items. It's like a free market. It's called Sniffer, funny enough. So there's a seller on it named Kat, which also, I am not making this up. cat on sniffer, and she has been selling these smelling vagina, pussy smelling vaginas.
Yeah.
She's been smelling these vagina scented masks for about a year now. And this is what her quote was. And at first I was like so grossed out because I don't know, just I don't even like my used panties. Like what? I don't know.
Well,
so this is what she says, quote, different strokes for different folks,
sure.
right? She goes, I think people like them because they're able to enjoy a fetish outside of their home because everyone's locked down now, right? I think it's like a little secret only they know, and it makes it risky and fun. It's personally thrilling to me knowing that a mask I've had in my panties or shoes, because sometimes she does foot scent too, is now being worn on someone's face and they're enjoying it.
Foot scent, gross.
Right. So they sell for between $5 and $250, although they say the average is around 15, and they come in a range of ways and places where they've been worn before they're sold.
Oh.
So for example, like strapped inside of a thong, stuffed into bras. That wouldn't be good for me because I don't have any booby sweat that smells. Like,
oh my
I don't
God. I'm trying to, but can you order like an activity, like run for
also
an hour?
people that have been wearing their own mask. You know, when you've worn a mask and you can smell your spit?
Yes.
Yeah. So people sell those. And also, I didn't want to include this in my notes, but I'm just going to drop it in here because it's really gross. But pee ones.
Oh.
Ones that they peed on and let dry.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
We're using a new mic, so I wonder if that picked up.
A couple thoughts about that, Pete, about all of this. But okay, in my like porn viewing as of late, I've been noticing
As of late.
No, but this is a change I've noticed as of late is a lot more pee videos. So I don't know whether this is
it what you're searching?
No, I'm not searching them, but they're just there, and it's like
under the most popular categories.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what is with people in lockdown? Are more people into this pee thing now? Am I just noticing it? Am I into
Again,
it?
different wait, I mean,
no, I don't think
whatever
so.
floats your boat. I would pick a less messy fetish personally.
Yeah, I don't.
But that's me because I'm super, me and neat and tidy. I don't want to have to clean up all of that.
Yeah, no. Ugh. This business is genius. I just saw today a gay guy on my Facebook auctioning off a jock he was wearing for charity, and gays do that sort of thing all the time. So right. It's genius.
Is it a used jock?
Yeah, he's like, this one I'm wearing can be yours kind of thing. So yeah. I mean, hey, we should make some money for the pod. Hey, we got to talk, Jenna. I'm not above that.
If we do it, we're doing it secretively, okay?
Well, then nobody will want them.
Well, I don't know if I want someone intentionally buying Jenna's used panties. Like using them and putting them in an envelope and sending them off is fine, but I don't want someone to seek out my used panties. Well, if you know what I mean. We could be rich because that creeps me out a bit.
Our listeners are freaks. Don't you remember the fan mail we got at the station?
All right. Let's do a Instagram poll right now.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Who would buy our used panties?
Either together or separate.
Right. Right. Please let us know. I was like, we're waiting for a response. Yeah, if there's a market for it, we can talk about it.
When we were on the radio, we got a fan mail of a full-on dick pic, and I still have it in my phone. It was a video of a rock hard dick with a sign that said, "Hello, Jenna and Jesse." Her name was first, so obviously it was from a straight guy.
Ladies first.
I still appreciate being included. And then
considering he was sending it to you,
well, no, he sent it to our chat. Remember, it was a big scandal at the station. He sent it to the app or whatever.
I didn't know.
Anyway, and so I saved that shit quick before JP could erase it because I wanted to keep it.
Surprised I wasn't the one that quickly erased it.
Yeah.
That would have been a me move. No, Jesse, come on, Jenna, you could have given me 5 seconds.
Yeah. And then later on, we got another fan mail saying they want to human centipede us, which we've mentioned 100 times. So I just think they wanted to human centipede me and you.
Mentioned it 1,000 times.
Right. Well, we're a collective we.
Okay. So now we're responsible for each other's mistakes.
We are a band. We go down together.
Name a band that's lasted forever.
Tegan and Sarah.
They're sisters.
Yeah, so are we. So anyway.
All right. What do you got? Now this is the dating segment of our show.
Dating.
I think the reason you're flocking towards these types of articles lately, is because you have an emptiness in your heart that you need to fill.
In my heart or in my Dr. Young area?
Okay, let's hear it.
Men with these features are best in bed. And I literally don't have a single one of them. So
Okay, let's hear
this
it.
is why I'm single. No, this is actually
I'm
why
gonna
single.
close my eyes because I have to picture all the guys I've slept with.
And I really
Not like there's a ton, okay? Calm down
Okay.
at home. Calm down. There's not a ton. I can still fit them on both of my hands.
Yeah.
And I'm 35. That's pretty impressive.
Can you really fit them on both your
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
Are you talking vaginal sex, like penetration, or like
What other
hand
kind of
jobs,
sex?
blow jobs, like in the bathroom at a house
I
party?
don't go and give hand jobs or blow jobs if I'm not getting sex.
Oh, hey, that's hot. Guys like that, a girl like that. So this is why I wanted your opinion on it, because this was a survey given to women about straight men. So again, I'm not sure. I'm trying to make myself feel better that maybe this isn't the same as gays, but I think it is. 4,500 women were polled, asked to name the best physical features on a sexual partner. Sexual, not husband, nothing, not nurture, sex,
Yeah.
sex. Where do you want to start? Bottom or top?
No, start at the bottom, work your way to the top.
Okay, there's 10. I'll do them quick. Number 10, high cheekbones in a man. I mean,
it's not something I look at all for.
No.
But high cheekbones or chiseled cheekbones goes to a chiseled jaw, which in turn is very masculine. Yeah. So I could see.
I do have an okay jaw. I don't think I have high cheekbones, though, do I?
No, you don't really have a lot of cheekbones.
I have Celine Dion.
But you do have a chiseled jaw, which makes up for your lack of cheekbones.
Thank you. Number 9, glasses. Sexually attractive. It depends on the guy. It depends on the guy.
I think it's because glasses usually accompany a suit, and a lot of women find a suit sexy. I also find too that glasses is intelligence, and I find intelligence super sexy.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
Like I just think of that smoldering, like,
you're picturing.
Can I help you?
Your eyes can have it all at Hakeem Optical. Bah, bah, bah.
Yeah, definitely not picturing that, but okay.
No, but because those models, they have like hot models that are really thick, like
a thicker rimmed glass. Yeah.
So like, you put glasses.
I'm thinking Superman. Okay. Basically, Clark Kent. Clark Kent. Sorry.
Not Clark Griswold.
I made that face. I lost all my chin.
Give us some salt water, sugar water. Number 8, small feet are sexually attractive.
No. That's some bullshit.
This whole list.
Not unless you want to fit the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay, number 7. I like this one. A snail trail of hair from the belly button down. I think that's hot. I like that. But
again, not something I notice.
Number 6, brown hair.
I love brown haired men.
I don't know a single woman that's like, I like blonde guys. I don't know.
Oh, my friend, Caesar Squeezer, Michelle Robb, go listen to that episode too.
Because
she loves blonde men, but they're completely opposite. That's black.
Right.
Like
and I've always been very popular among Black women.
I also think and have this weird theory that women are kind of naturally attracted to people who resemble their fathers.
Okay.
My dad is tall and has dark hair.
But that's a total 180 from what you just said about your friend.
But no, Michelle's dad's white.
Oh, okay.
And he's got blonde hair. He's really, really tall, and she likes shorter men. But yeah.
I think there's something that's so disgusting.
Yeah, he's blonde with blue eyes.
I think you might be right. My dad's very macho and horribly like heteronormative.
And especially if you have like a super awesome father that's like you always look up to and you love and admire, and then that makes sense. Except that you would want to have someone that you idolize as your romantic.
Yeah, but where I was going was my dad and I didn't have a great relationship, but I still like that type of man.
Right.
Sexually.
So maybe it's just the influence that you've had around your life. Yeah. You're used to seeing those looking men, the men that look that way.
But your current boyfriend has nothing like your dad.
Strawberry blonde.
But your dad is total opposite of him.
Mm-hmm.
So
could you ever date someone who had the same name as your dad?
I did. I did.
Oh, see, that's creepy to me. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, it was a little creepy. But I mean, remember when I dated this guy, I hadn't talked to my dad in many years. So maybe it was a bit different.
Right.
Here's another thing. Both my mom's husbands had the same name.
Weird.
That's weird. I don't think I could date another.
My aunt's former husband, rest in peace, is Chris, and her daughter's fiance is Chris.
Oh.
So Callie, my cousin, her fiance and dad are both Chris. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Not too
I
much
think
for me.
sometimes names take on their own meaning. Like, remember when we named Lincoln?
Right.
That was my ex's decision largely, and we
Right.
both kind of thought it was weird, but now I can't picture any
It's
other name.
association, right?
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Okay, where were we? This list is going to go on all night. 5, tattoos. Well, yeah.
I do like a tattoo, but that's because the tattoos are associated with bad boys.
Yeah,
and
like naughty.
there's just something sexy about him. Jason Momoa.
But again,
you
it's like the
doing?
glasses. Some guys could look really horrible with tattoos.
Right. Go ahead.
Look, your boyfriend's texting up a
Well,
storm.
I
You
don't know
better
what to
just
do.
answer
I
him.
can't
Well,
do
if
it.
you open it, you can silence him.
It's fine. Let's just keep going.
Okay. Number 3, piercings. Gross. I don't.
I'm not a fan of, but I'm not a fan of piercings, period. I only had my 2 in each ear and the bottom of my belly button, which is now gone. But that was it. I don't know. I never got onto the piercing bandwagon.
No.
I definitely like asked my dad if I could pierce my tongue, and he said no, because your teeth are expensive.
Yes, I had a tongue piercing, and the reason I took it out was because I started to notice it chipping my
your
teeth.
teeth.
Yeah.
Right, because you'd probably sit there and play with it like a little slut.
Yeah, you bite it and horrible things. And it's not true that it helps oral sex.
I can't believe that's a number 3 on the list that people find attractive or piercing. That's interesting. I feel like piercings have kind of taken such a back role to tattoos. Tattoos are so, everyone has a fucking tattoo right now.
But remember, this list is about sexual experiences. So the women were asked,
that's why.
Your best sexual experience.
Shit. Okay.
So number 2 is brown eyes, whatever, but I want to get to number 1, a beard. 73% of women said the best sex they ever had was with a guy that had a beard.
It's hard to find a guy who technically does not have a beard. Like right now, you're like fairly clean shaven.
I just shaved
but if you were to rub up on me, that's a beard.
Yeah, I guess.
Men are never without beards.
Yeah.
That's what makes a man's face gruff, like what it is. I've never met a man who has skin as bare as
a woman.
Right.
Even when they're like skin
clean, like right out of the shower, shaven.
There's always a little something.
You know, even the hot knife or whatever the hell that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's for smoking weed.
The blade.
Right.
What's it called?
Right.
I don't know. All right, that was the list. Womp womp. I have another list, but I think I should skip it.
Okay.
And go to how your social media posts can predict your breakup.
This is obvious. And when you sent me this headline, because we do make sure we don't duplicate.
Yes, but okay, go ahead.
But the reason that I didn't like this is because everyone's like social media is now a part of our day-to-day behavior.
Yeah.
It's like texting, it's like everything. So as soon as that changes, it's no different than someone like not talking to you as often. Or like, do you know, because it's become such a big part of our lives.
Very,
Does that make
very
sense?
close, very close. I was interested on your take on this because you don't use social media like a normal girl our age.
Right.
You don't post crazy all the time. I don't even think you've made your new dating guy.
No. And I don't, because that's not something I choose to share on social media.
Well, it's different.
You know what I mean?
You're a public figure, darling. It's different.
Yeah, no, I like to, like now that I'm not doing that, I like to, even when I was on the radio, I like to share my experiences. If I'm home in Vancouver, I want to show you like the scenery. To me, I see social media as like a chance to see through my eyes, not to be like, here's my life. It's not a diary to me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's what it said. Easy way to find it. Oh, God, I can't. Sometimes I got to read these before we do this. A new study out of the University of Texas found that someone's social media can predict their breakup. So they studied a bunch of different breakups, and they found that around 3 months before someone's relationship ends, there's a noticeable change in the language they use, whether they're talking about their relationship or anything in general. So people start using more self-focused words like I, me, and mine, and they start thinking about things less analytically and more emotionally. So you might notice people have bigger reactions to things like lockdowns.
Yeah. I remember too, when my best friend, her now husband, was dating him then. I remember where quickly, when she moved in, it quickly went from, so what are you doing? Like, I'd be like, so what are you doing tonight? And she'd be like, well, we are doing. And it was never No. I want to know what you are doing so that we can do something together.
Yeah. That, but also this is the same as before social media. If all of a sudden your friend's mad at everything, in a bad mood, there's something bothering her, you know? So it's the same sort of thing.
I don't notice people's like relation, and I have been able to like forecast relationship breaks through text. Like I know exactly when someone's going to break up with me through their texting habits.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're the one in the
Easily.
relationship.
Yeah, easily. I just have never been with someone who's always on social media.
Yeah, even your guy now isn't really as well. Follow his
He's
TikTok.
by far the most active that I've ever seen. But like as for Facebook and stuff, he doesn't mess around with it. He does TikToks because they're fun and he does them for his employees.
He's very good at them.
Right. But
oh my gosh, we're almost gonna have to have him on the show.
No, that will never happen.
So this was kind of uneventful, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting that if it's in research, it must be true. So keep an eye. If you suspect that one of your girlfriends might be dumping her man, maybe you can tell through her social posts.
And if you're stressed out about it, try butt plug.
Hey, do you got any here?
Oh, you could use a wine cork or the wine thing to, you know, like when you cork a bottle and you,
like
I own all those wine things that can stub the top. I even have one with a big diamond at the back end.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Be right back.